Good morning. Welcome to all those who are following this webinar. Hello, I'm Julia. If you are following, please type a comment and say hello. Tell me, how are you? And where are you now? Where are you following our webinar from? Hello, good morning. It's nice to see you. I'm Julia. Hello. Say hello in the comment box so I can see you. I want to know who you are, how you're doing, and where you're following this webinar from. Today's topic is adventure. I hope that you are adventurous. Today, we will be looking at describing an adventure using conditionals, overcoming a fear. We will be working on some new vocabulary to speak about adventures and our fears and feelings. So please say hello. How are you? Where are you listening from? We will be reviewing conditional forms and speaking about going on an adventure. Hello, if you're following this webinar, please say hello. Type a comment in the comment section so I can see you. I'm looking forward to reading all your answers and knowing what you think about today's topic. So today we speak about adventure, describing an adventure, using conditionals, and overcoming a fear. So we will be looking at some new vocabulary, reviewing conditional forms, and looking at different types of adventure and what would you do in an adventurous situation. So I hope to have some comments from you and to know about your opinion on today's topic. Hello, thank you for joining. Please type in a comment so I can see you. How are you? Where are you from? It's nice to see you. I'm Julia. Welcome to this webinar. So, do you agree? Life is an adventure, or it is nothing at all. What do you think about this statement? Do you agree with it? Do you feel that life is an adventure, or life should be an adventure? Let me know what you think. The author of this quote is Helen Keller. Life is an adventure or it is nothing at all. 1. Do you consider yourself to be adventurous or a daredevil? What does a daredevil mean? Good morning, Patricia. It's great to hear from you. Hi, how are you? It's wonderful to see Myes students from different parts of Italy. How are things in Livorno? How's the weather in Livorno? Is it warm there? Right now I'm in the mountains, so it's a little bit cold, but it's sunny and there is no snow. Hi, say hello and write a comment. Now I would like to know if you agree with this statement. Life is an adventure or it is nothing at all, by Helen Keller. What do you think? Hi, Federico. Welcome to our online webinar. It's great to see you. How are things in Rome? How's the weather in Rome? And how are you, Federico? And guys, do you agree with this statement? Patrizia says the weather is great. That is beautiful. Can you smell the sea? Now, we were looking at a new term. Do you consider yourself to be adventurous or a daredevil? What does a daredevil mean? What do you think it means? A daredevil, what do you think it means? Well, that's right. A person who is not afraid of anything. Absolutely. A person who enjoys doing dangerous things. So, are you adventurous or are you a daredevil? Now here, what is stronger? So daredevil is definitely a very strong word. Describe yourself. Do you agree with the statement by Helen Keller? Do you consider yourself to be adventurous or a daredevil? Number 2, what is the most adventurous thing you have done in your life so far? Wow. Okay, I'm very curious to know, what have you done that was very adventurous? I'm sure you have stories to tell, so please write your experience. So Federico says he feels that he's maybe adventurous because daredevil is too much. Right, there is a difference. Adventurous is you like an adventure, but daredevil is that you really enjoy things that are dangerous, so it's an extreme. Some people enjoy dangerous experiences. They enjoy the feeling of being at their limit. What adventurous things would you like to do? And what adventures would you like to avoid? So avoid means not to do. Now, please let me know what your answers to these questions are. Federico from Rome and Patrizia from Livorno. Life is an adventure, or it is nothing at all. So Federico says, for number 2, I jumped from a plane with a parachute, but I don't know if it's the right word. Well done. Wow, that is amazing. You jumped from an airplane. Now the word is correct, but the spelling is parachute. I am amazed, Federico. I can't believe it. I don't think that I would have the courage to jump from an airplane with a parachute. Patrizia says, you can consider going to COP in this period adventurous. Patrizia, I know what you mean. And unfortunately, I think we are all living something that we've never experienced before. It is very strange. Let's work on word order. You. I would say you can consider going to COP during this period as an adventure, because you as the subject can consider is a verb. Going to COP functions as the object of this sentence. So we need subject, verb, object. Then we can say as an adventure. Okay, I agree with you. Is there anything else during this period that feels frightening or dangerous? And Patrizia, what is the most adventurous thing you have done in your life so far? So Federico has jumped from a plane with a parachute. That's incredible. Really, really amazing. And tell us more about yourself. What adventures would you like to do? What adventures would you like to avoid? It's not for you. So for me, I would like to go on a long trek on foot in Scotland. I would love to visit Scotland, and I think that going on a long trek, on a trip on foot for multiple days, for a week, a long period, when you can only rely on your own strength, I think that is quite a challenge and an adventure. Now I'm happy to see your answers. Okay, Patricia says, I've never done anything particularly strange. Absolutely. And Federico, maybe I'd like to avoid bungee jumping. Yes, I agree with you on that. I'm not crazy about bungee jumping. And what would you like to do? And why? So for me, I would like to avoid exploring an underground cave. So I know that caves can be very fascinating, extremely interesting, but they make me feel afraid, scared, and claustrophobic. I would be afraid of being trapped in the cave. So I would like to avoid exploring an underground cave because I would be afraid of getting lost and being trapped in the cave. What does cave mean? What does cave mean? Okay, so Federico, I'd like to go kayaking. Go kayaking. Patrizia's right. She says, if you use a guided tour, you can enjoy it. Yes, I think you're right, especially if it's not a dangerous cave and it has been explored before. There are paths inside, then I agree with you. It could be an amazing experience. Have you ever been in a cave? So, meaning of cave. So Federico would like to go kayaking. So for Federico, I suggest you go kayaking on a lake in Canada. So I'm from Canada, I'm from Toronto, and if you go in the eastern part of Canada, southeastern Canada, Ontario, or Quebec, you can find amazing lakes to go kayaking on. It's a perfect place for an adventure because the landscape is absolutely beautiful. And it's also easy to organize a kayaking trip. So Federico, let me know if you're going kayaking in Canada. Well done. Patrizia says there are many caves in Italy, but I've never been to a cave. Can you suggest anything safe? Can you suggest a safe cave that is worth visiting? Okay. So I was very happy to receive all your comments on this topic. Patrizia says, I went to Castellana cases and also in the market. Very interesting. Okay. I know. I feel that it's a completely different dimension when you go underground in a cave. It's a different world completely. Now look at the picture. How do you call this man in the picture? Tell me, what do you see in the picture here? How do we call this man? Very good, an astronaut. So, would you go to outer space? I think going to outer space is one of the most incredible adventures for a human being. Would you do it? Would you be brave enough? Would you be courageous enough to go to outer space? I think that I might do it if I'm well prepared and well trained. I think I would like to see the planet Earth from space. And how about you? I would really like to know, would you go to outer space? Thank you so much for all your answers on these questions. It was great to hear about you. Now let's carry on. I'm going to read this text. Then we will work on some new expressions. Thrilling language. My uncle is a thrill seeker. He enjoys doing extreme sports and is fearless. I would like to be as brave as he is someday. My worst fear is heights. If I want to be a daredevil like him, I will need to be daring and face my fear. I have thought about trying something dangerous, like skydiving, but I'm afraid that it's too risky and extremely hazardous. My uncle, however, says it's the biggest adrenaline rush. My mom says not to listen to him, since he is an adrenaline junkie. Now here we have very many different things. So Federico, I'm studying aerospace engineering. So yes, I'd like to go. That's amazing, Federico. Wow. And Patrizia, not now. Maybe when I was young. Amazing. So Federico is an astronaut in training. You will be the next generation of Italian space engineers. Amazing, Federico. Why would you like to go to space? What would you like to do on a space mission? would you like to do on a mission to outer space? Now I'm really curious to hear from an aerospace engineer. I'm very, very interested. So please tell me, Federico, what would you do on a mission to outer space? Oh, welcome, Fabiola. No, I wouldn't, because I don't like closed space. Yes, that is one problem, definitely. Being closed inside the space shuttle, it can be very claustrophobic. So if we look at this text, we have a person speaking about their family and using a language to describe adventure. Which three words can describe someone that loves to do extreme activities? So read the text and find three words to describe someone that loves to do extreme activities in this text. So that's very interesting, Federico. You have to do many things, technically speaking. Examine the outside or the satellite connection. Of course, those are basic things you need to keep in check all the time. So for me, a thing okay, so here you can use the conditional. I think the view would be enough for me to accept. So we said a daredevil likes adventure and dangerous things. A daredevil enjoys dangerous things. Wonderful, Patrizia, an adrenaline junkie. Very good term. What does adrenaline junkie mean? Can you define adrenaline junkie? Thrill seeker, absolutely, Fabiola. So we would define an adrenaline junkie as a person with a compulsive desire for excitement and adventure. That means that when you're in a risky situation, your body makes the hormone adrenaline to signal to the brain that you're in danger. But some people really enjoy that feeling of adrenaline, so they want more. So they seek, they look for dangerous experiences. Fabiola says someone likes, extreme sports, we would say. Yes, well done, Federico. I was going to clarify this. Yes, junkie is a word that is taken from the context of addiction. So if you are a junkie, that means you are addicted to something. You can be a junkie, an alcohol junkie, or more commonly addicted to drugs. So it is a word to say that a person consumes so much of a substance that they are addicted. So here we have 3 words to describe someone that loves to do extreme activities: thrill seeker, daredevil, and adrenaline junkie. So very well spotted there. Which 3 words are synonyms for unafraid? Not afraid. Please let me know. I would like to be as brave as he is someday. So 3 words that are synonyms for unafraid. Wonderful, Patrizia. Fearless. That's great. We can also use daring and brave. Fearless is you have no fear. Daring is that you are able to take risks. You like to take risks. And brave means courageous. So very good work here on these new words. Here we have which 3 words are synonyms for unsafe? Another interesting verb that you can use with fear is face your fears. So when you decide to go against your fear and to do something that you find frightening, you face your fears. So we have courageous, we have risky, well done, for unsafe. Risky is definitely unsafe. Risky, dangerous, and hazardous. Extremely hazardous means very, very dangerous. Well done, everyone. Well done, Fabiola. That's wonderful. Great work here, everyone. Okay. We will be reviewing conditional forms now. So under some conditions, let's review the first conditional. First conditional is formed by if, the subject, present simple, and in the second part, will plus the infinitive. If my friend wants to go skydiving, I will go with him. If you are a daredevil, now I would like you to complete the sentence using the first conditional. So complete the sentence using the first conditional. If you are a daredevil, this is a sentence for you to complete. Then we have the second conditional. If plus subject plus past simple, would plus infinitive. If I were fearless, I would explore a cave. If it weren't so dangerous, I would climb a cliff. Now I would like to know from you your answers. I would like you to complete these sentences using the second conditional. So Federico says, probably for the first one, if my friend wants to go skydiving, you can say, I'll go with him. Well done, Federico. Yes, absolutely. Now, Federico says, if you are a daredevil, you will definitely go climb. I would say you would climb. You would climb Mount Everest. Or you will. You will climb Mount Everest. Use the first conditional. So the first conditional speaks about real situations. Fabiola says, if my friend wants to go skydiving, he'll become very clever. Okay, probably all the adrenaline makes you more intelligent. And for Patrizia, if my friend wants to go skydiving, I will be in pain. Probably you mean I'll be worried about him. And yes, Savile, if you're a daredevil, you'll go everywhere. That's great. Now for the second conditional, please complete these sentences using the second conditional. Second conditional speaks about hypothetical situations. So while we use the first conditional for real situations, the second conditional is for a hypothetical situation. If I were fearless, what would I do? If it weren't so dangerous, what would I do? So for me, if I were fearless, I would explore an underground cave. That means if I were fearless, this is the condition. It's introduced by if, subject, and then we have the past simple. Because it is not a real situation, It is hypothetical. For Federico, if it weren't so dangerous, I would accept without any hesitation. Very good. And for Fabiola, if I were fearless, I'd be a fireman. Wow, that is very courageous. I love your answers, everyone. Really good discussion here. Great use of conditional forms. Federico, what would you accept without hesitation? So now we have the third conditional. If plus subject plus past perfect would have plus past participle. If I hadn't been pushed outside of my comfort zone, if I hadn't overcome my biggest fear. So, as we said, the first conditional is for real situations. The second conditional is for hypothetical situations. The third conditional is actually for regrets, for thinking about the past and how we would change the past. But we cannot change the past. So the third conditional is for impossible situations in the past and their imagined consequences. So Federico says he would accept climbing the Mount Everest without hesitation, but it is too risky. Yes, it's better to be safe. If it were so dangerous, I'd go on. Where would you go, Fabiola? So now let's work on the third conditional and complete these sentences. How would you change the past, or how would the past have been different if something had gone differently? If I hadn't been pushed outside of my comfort zone, what would I have done? What would have happened? Remember to use would have with the past participle. If I hadn't overcome my biggest fear, I would have or wouldn't have done something. So please let me know about challenging situations in the past and how they changed the course of your life. Outside my comfort zone. What does comfort zone mean? So comfort zone means where you feel safe, and it's an idiomatic expression. So when you step outside of your comfort zone, you go beyond your personal limits and you do something that scares you. Fabiola, if I hadn't been pushed outside my comfort zone, okay, I would have worked around the world. So to use the third conditional, please remember to use I would have. So the contraction is I'd have plus past participle. I'd have worked. Would have, because this is finished in the past. And the others, Patrizia says, if I hadn't been pushed outside of my comfort zone, I wouldn't have changed city. That's great. So are you happy in your new city? You said you're in Livorno. Where did you used to live? And how about Federico? If you hadn't been pushed outside of your comfort zone, what would you have done? Great. Okay. If I hadn't overcome my biggest fear, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed many things I like now. Amazing. Can you give any examples? For Fabiola, if I hadn't overcome my biggest fear, I wouldn't have done it. Of course, this is a perfect sentence. Well done. What wouldn't you have done? Give us more details. Oh, and Patrizia says, I've changed many cities in my life. Wonderful use of the present perfect. That's an interesting experience, Patrizia. I wouldn't have done it. Yes, Fabiola. Done what? I would like to know more about this. So, guys, very good work today. Today we worked on the context of adventure. You spoke to me about risks. Some of you consider yourselves to be adventurous, but not really a daredevil. A daredevil is a person who really has pleasure in danger. You spoke to me about some unbelievable adventures that you've been on. Federico, for example, jumping from a plane or climbing mountains. And because Federico in the past was really afraid of heights, then he went beyond his comfort zone. Federico faced his fears. He decided to go against his fears and to try something risky but thrilling at the same time. You spoke to me about adventures you would like to do and adventures you would like to avoid. We looked at some new vocabulary to speak about extreme activities. A person that loves to do extreme activities is a thrill seeker, daredevil, or adrenaline junkie. Synonyms for unafraid, daring, fearless, and brave. Risky, adventurous, and hazardous mean unsafe. Then we reviewed our 3 conditional forms. The first conditional for real situations, the second conditional for hypothetical situations, the third conditional to speak about the past, so an impossible situation in the past because we cannot change the past, and the imagined result in the past. So I was really happy to receive all your comments today, and thank you for participating in this webinar. It was great to have all your contributions. Thank you for following. We have Myes webinars every hour for different levels. Hi, Patrizia. Well, it's great to hear from you. I'm teaching at 10, level 4 to 5. And I will be teaching at 11, level 6 to 7. And I will be teaching lower levels in the afternoon. So at 3 and at 4, levels 2 and 3. So thank you so much for following. Hope to see you in my next lessons. Thank you for your amazing participation. See you soon.